Hey guys, how's everybody doing today? Happy Flag Day. Hope everybody had a good day. Just coming on here to talk about a little incident I had on last Sunday with a friend that called me to tell me that she had breast cancer. It was a whole situation. We really haven't gotten along for I've known her for 35 years plus, well, 34 years. Anyway, and it was just the way she handled the situation. She called me at a time that she normally doesn't call. Then when I picked up the phone, I said, well, is this anything going on? Are you okay? Because she doesn't usually call me at that time. We don't usually call each other. We usually call each other. It's usually on a Sunday around 6 to 7 o'clock at night. And we don't talk that often. She lives up in Northern California. But what bothered me is I picked up the phone. I said, is everything okay? And she said, oh, I didn't think you'd pick up. I was going to leave a message and tell you to call me after 3. That's what she said to me. So I said, and I said, so we can't talk, or do we need to wait and I'll call you back? And she said, no, you can talk. So I thought that was a little odd, a little drama. So she asked me what was going on. I asked her what was going on. We were talking for a while. We talked for about 25 minutes of just what's going on. And mind you, I just had talked to her like 2 or 3 weeks before that. And this situation never came up before. And I know that she had known about it because she had, in the conversation, she had said that this has been going on for the last couple of weeks. So I was just like a little taken back by that she didn't say anything before that she was going through this. So we're talking, and then all of a sudden there was a little bit of break, and then she just spurted it out. I have breast cancer. I said, okay, what's your plan? And she started telling me a plan, but she stopped and she said, I just need you to be a friend. Okay, what have I been the last? And she never takes any of my advice anyway, so I've kind of restrained on telling her what to do, and it almost seems like she's mad because I'm being dominant and trying to tell her what to do with her life when she's never taken any of my advice. Now, mind you, this is the same person that we went to Gap, and I did a video on that, and she wanted me to go to Gap with her to tell her what pants looked good on her. And, that's fine. That's fine. Like I said, I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with friends calling me to ask for advice, but she has never taken any advice that I've ever given her, ever, except for the Gap pants. She doesn't listen to me, and she's asked a lot of times for advice. And I just kind of stopped telling her things to do because I just get so irritated because she uses so much drama, and she doesn't just deal with the facts. She just builds all this drama into everything, and that's fine, but I'm not that kind of person. I deal with the facts and pull away the drama and just fix what's going on with the factual information that I have. So anyway, she told me that in the beginning, and so I just listened to her. And then the conversation got quiet, and I said, okay, that's your plan. You're happy with the team that you have. They're doing 2 different biopsies to make sure it hasn't went here, there, everywhere. I said, okay. And I said, I'm sorry you have this. You'll get through this, but you have to have a right frame of mind. And I said, if you're comfortable with your team and you're comfortable with all this stuff, you'll get through this. Then she said, I just want you to be a friend. Okay, well, I haven't really given you my opinion, but I didn't tell her this, but I went through this exact same thing, not breast cancer, but I had a huge tumor. As you can see, there's a good, nice scar, and he did a pretty good job because you can't really tell it's in the crease. And now that I'm getting older, my neck's becoming one with my head. But anyway, I went through this similar thing. I had a huge tumor in my neck, and I went to the doctor, and they did a MRI and found out that there was a tumor, and they wanted to do a biopsy, and I said no. I said, take it out. It needs to come out. It's encapsulated. We don't need to cut into it to find out what it is, because what are we going to do? And this is my whole problem with the procedure that happens when you go into a doctor with a tumor that's in your body. They have a certain thing they want to do. Okay, the end result should be that you have it just taken out. Not that we need to find out this, we need to find out that. No, we need to just get rid of it. And I think that's the biggest issue that I have. And I got in a huge discussion with the doctor, and I said, no. I said, I need to talk to the surgeon, because I said, I just want it removed. We can biopsy it maybe after it's out, but I'm not going to sit here and have you cut into it and have it spread all over. And people don't understand that. That's what I don't want to do. Whether it's benign or whether it's cancerous, it just needs to come out. And that's what I don't understand with this situation with her is they got to go in and biopsy it again. They've already biopsied. They already figured out it's cancer. Why do you need to go up? Well, we need to make sure it didn't spread. Okay, but it still needs to come out. So why are we leaving it in there opened up? Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But you're comfortable with your team. So my whole point of this video is the simple fact of the matter is she got really mad at me. She couldn't control the situation. And she was leading it up to like a big drama-driven thing, because if you just wanted to tell me, obviously it wasn't important because you know that you found out 2 weeks prior. And so if you really wanted to tell me, you should have just told me then when we talked before. But instead you save it calling me at a time that we normally don't talk. Then when I pick up the phone, I didn't think you'd answer. I was going to leave you a message, tell me how. Drama. All it is drama. I'm sorry you have cancer. You'll beat this, but you got to have the right frame of mind. You're already happy with the team. So what is me being a true friend to you going to help your situation? Zero. It's going to help you zero. You've never listened to me in the past. I don't understand. You're pissed off because I didn't react the way I was supposed to react. And it was funny because we talked about her supposed boyfriend. And I said, well, what did he say? Well, he just didn't ask enough questions. He didn't respond. Yeah, he didn't respond the way you the way you wanted him to respond. And this is my whole thing with her. After the whole thing 2 years ago, or four years ago, when we got in an argument about the jab and she was pissed off because I wasn't going to get it and we don't need to talk about it. I said, you need to do what is best for you. I am not going to get it. I don't think it's good for me. I don't want to have it. I'm not going to get it. I don't care what other people think. It's my life. It's my choice. And so anyway, we talked for a little bit. She kept telling me probably 7 or 8 times that I just need to be a friend. Well, I don't know what your definition of a friend that I should be when I've been a supposed friend the last 30 years. So I was kind of irritated just the way she handled the situation. It was like she was a 5-year-old trying to tell me something that she did wrong. And my biggest thing is she really needs to get involved in a focus group or a group that people that have had breast cancer, that have won breast cancer, that are going through breast cancer. Because my little sister had breast cancer 3 years ago. 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And I know what she went through, and I know what the doctors did to her. And my little sister's mentally retarded and handicapped. The new phrase, but I can say that because if you ask her, she'll tell you that. She won't say special needs. She'll tell you what I just said. And I'm sure that's a double-edged sword when I say that. But anyway, so she really didn't understand the whole chemo and how it's affecting her, and she didn't like it. It made her sick. And I've had probably 6 or 7 other friends that have gotten breast cancer one in particular didn't survive. She did beat it the first time, but then it came back. So I'm very aware of this, but I'm not a specialist in any of it, and I don't know the new technology. I do know some stuff that does fight it, and I do know some things, but I'm not, in the position to give my whole opinion on what. I just know what I went through with my benign. So anyway, it got a little bit more heated, and then she hung up on me. So I haven't talked to her since. I did call her back and leave a message and just told her I don't understand this whole situation and how you handled this. I understand you're scared, but you know what? You need to focus on beating it and doing what you feel comfortable with your body. And I didn't mention about the focus group or the, the groups that are out there that she could go attend meetings and talk about it with like-minded people that are going through the same thing she is. I didn't mention that to her, but I think that's what the route she needs to do, because she's trying to control the narrative on the way people react. And I'm not gonna react any different than I did with other friends. I haven't gone through this. I haven't had breast cancer. I've not going through it. And I don't know how much support I can be when you keep telling me that I just need a friend. So if you need a sounding board to sit there and tell me, that's not going to help you in any way, because I'm just going to sit there like, okay, good to know. So, and I'm not trying to be cold. I'm sorry that she has this. I'm sorry that she's going through this, but she needs to get through this and focus her energy on the situation that's going on with her and solve it, and stop trying to be mad at people because they're not reacting a certain way to her diagnosis. That's all I'm going to say right now. You guys can let me know in the comments what you think about this. I don't think I did anything wrong, but I'm also not going to be manipulated on trying to be a friend that she has it in her mind that I should be to her, because I'm a friend no matter what type of situation you're going through. I've been that way for the last 30 years with you, and now all of a sudden you want me to change? Ain't gonna happen. Anyway, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you like my content, subscribe. And hope you have a good Saturday evening, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. I can sit there and hit it 4 times and it's still not gonna shut off.